In this still and tender hour, when winter's quiet breath drifts softly against the world, and the glow of a single candle can chase the darkness from an entire room, I invite you to listen, not with your ears alone, but with the deeper chamber of your spirit. For there comes a moment in every life when the soul hungers for a truth that cannot be wrapped, purchased, or placed beneath a tree. A truth that emerges only when the mind becomes calm, the heart becomes open, and the world grows silent enough for wisdom to speak. And tonight, in this season of remembrance and renewal, I want you to feel something stir inside you, a recognition, a knowing, a quiet awakening. Because the greatest treasures of your life will never be found in what you hold, but in who you become. There is a wisdom woven into this season, a wisdom older than tradition, deeper than ritual, more enduring than any celebration. It is the wisdom of a humble birth in a forgotten corner of the world, a reminder that greatness does not erupt from grandeur, but from stillness, from intention, from the courage to walk a path that others do not understand. Christ entered the world not as a conqueror, but as a symbol of inner power, power born of clarity, belief, and unwavering purpose. And whether you stand within that faith or outside of it, the symbolism remains profound. Transformation begins within, far from applause, far from validation, far from the noise of public approval. It begins in the quiet chambers of a disciplined mind. You must understand this. The greatest achievements, the deepest joys, the most abundant forms of success arise not from circumstances, but from consciousness. They emerge from the thoughts you choose to cultivate, the beliefs you dare to hold, the vision you protect even when the world calls it impossible. Every individual who has contributed something extraordinary to humanity began with a single internal decision to believe in what they could not yet see. This is the law of all creation, the essence of all progress. Belief precedes reality. And in this season that celebrates light entering darkness, you are being called to awaken your own inner light, the light of mindset, of intention, of direction. For mindset is not a fleeting mood, but the atmosphere of your destiny. It is the lens through which you experience the world, the filter through which you interpret possibility, the soil from which your actions grow. When your mindset is clouded by fear, the world reflects shadows. When your mindset is elevated by belief, the world reveals pathways. Pause here. Breathe slowly. Feel the quiet power forming around your thoughts, because right now, whether you realize it or not, you are standing at the edge of transformation. And the moment you choose to claim authority over your mind, you begin shaping your future with the same certainty that the sculptor shapes stone. Belief is the silent engine of every miracle that has ever occurred. Even Christ, whose life became a symbol of hope and renewal, taught the profound truth that belief reshapes reality. It is done unto you as you believe, not as you try, not as you hope, but as you believe. For belief is a force, not a wish. It is the calm declaration within the spirit that what you seek is already possible, already forming, already preparing its arrival in your life. And once belief takes root, vision awakens. Vision is the sight beyond sight, the ability to perceive the invisible architecture of your own destiny. It is the power to look upon the emptiness of a winter field and see the harvest waiting beneath the frost. Vision is your compass. It is the star that guides you through uncertainty, through doubt, through the nights when your progress feels invisible to others. Without vision, the mind drifts. With vision, the mind becomes unshakable. There is clarity available to you now, clarity that emerges when you sweep aside the clutter of fear and doubt, when you silence the voices that never understood your calling, when you stand still long enough to hear your own truth. Clarity is the moment when you finally see the difference between what distracts you and what defines you. It is the moment when you stop chasing what impresses others and begin pursuing what fulfills your spirit. And once clarity settles upon you, purpose rises like dawn. Purpose is not loud. It does not shout or demand attention. Purpose whispers. It calls. It pulls. It beckons you toward a life that requires courage, discipline, and devotion. Purpose is the quiet knowing that your existence is not accidental, that your gifts were not given to you at random, that your struggles were not without meaning. Purpose is the anchor that steadies you in every storm, the fire that carries you through every winter. But even purpose requires discipline, the willingness to honor your vision, not only when it feels inspiring, but also when it feels inconvenient. Discipline is devotion in action. It is the daily choice to align your thoughts and behaviors with the life you are building. Without discipline, intention dissolves into dream. With discipline, dream becomes destiny. And persistence. Persistence is the sacred companion of purpose. It is the decision to rise again when the world expects your surrender. It is the refusal to abandon your vision, simply because the road has grown steep. Every meaningful life has been shaped by persistence. Every breakthrough has been forged in the fire of perseverance. Even the quiet story of Bethlehem carries this truth that the path to greatness is rarely comfortable, but always purposeful. And as persistence strengthens your spirit, something remarkable begins to unfold within you. You start to sense that the barriers you once feared are no longer immovable. They are merely thresholds, asking whether you are willing to rise to meet the life you were created to live. Persistence awakens a knowing, quiet, steady, and profound, that nothing in your external world has ever possessed the authority to dictate your destiny. Only you do. Only your resolve, only your inner devotion to the vision that calls you forward. And as this truth settles, gratitude blooms, not the shallow gratitude that fades with convenience, but the deep and abiding gratitude that transforms your perception of life itself. Gratitude is wealth in its purest form, for it shifts your attention from what is missing to what is possible. It opens the heart, softens the mind, and sharpens the spirit. Gratitude is what allows you to rise from your challenges, not with bitterness, but with wisdom. It allows you to look upon every setback and say, "This too shaped me. This too refined me. This too prepared me for the abundance I am now ready to receive." Gratitude has a power that few understand. It alters the very vibration of your thoughts, aligning you with the flow of opportunity. It turns ordinary moments into sacred ground, and it reminds you that the wealth you seek externally must first be cultivated internally, through appreciation, through awareness, through presence. When gratitude enters the mind, scarcity loses its influence. When gratitude enters the heart, fear loses its grip. As gratitude deepens, adaptability awakens. You begin to move through life not as a rigid figure threatened by change, but as a fluid and resilient force capable of adjusting to any circumstance. Adaptability is the mindset of the master. It is the ability to bend without breaking, to change course without losing direction, to embrace uncertainty with the confidence of one who trusts their own inner compass. The world may shift. Seasons may turn, circumstances may surprise you, but the adaptable mind remains steady, creative, and empowered. And within this adaptability emerges inner resilience, the quiet strength that has carried you through every difficult chapter you once feared you would not survive. Resilience is proof of your enduring spirit, proof that even in your weakest moments you were being shaped into someone stronger, wiser, more capable. Resilience is not loud. It does not boast. It simply endures, like evergreen branches holding their color through winter's harshest snow. Within you, too, there is an evergreen strength, unyielding, faithful, alive in every season of your life. You are not here by accident. You are not listening by chance. Something within you is rising, expanding, awakening to its own authority. Personal transformation is not a moment. It is a progression, a remembering, a return to the truth of who you have always been beneath fear, beneath doubt, beneath the layers of limitation the world once taught you to accept. Transformation occurs the moment you stop negotiating with your potential and begin honoring it. And as you honor that potential, quietly, steadily, the seeds of wealth begin to germinate. Not wealth as the world often misunderstands it, but wealth as the expression of inner mastery. Wealth that flows from clarity of mind, purity of intention, discipline of action, and strength of character. Wealth that emerges naturally when you align your inner world with the highest vision you hold for your life. Wealth that reflects not merely what you earn, but who you become. There is a wisdom in this season, a wisdom carried through centuries, a wisdom that has guided the hearts of millions. The story of Christ is not only a story of faith, it is a story of inner mastery, a story of purpose forged in silence, a story of conviction that could not be shaken by external circumstance, a story of light that refused to be extinguished by darkness, a story of a life committed to meaning, to truth, to service, to courage. And whether you embrace the spiritual message, the historical influence, or the symbolic power, the lesson remains the same. Greatness begins within. It begins with belief, with humility, with devotion to a purpose greater than comfort. It begins in moments just like this, when the world is quiet and your heart is attentive and your mind is ready to accept that the life you desire is already reaching toward you, waiting for you to rise and meet it. So breathe deeply. Feel the calm strength settling in your spirit, like snow falling gently across an open field. Feel the sense that you are not merely listening to words, but awakening to a truth that has lived inside you for years, waiting for your permission to take shape. You are becoming someone new, yet deeply familiar, someone powerful, someone intentional, someone aligned with success, with joy, with purpose. And as this alignment deepens, you begin to feel an unmistakable shift within yourself, a gentle yet powerful turning of the inner tides. It is as though something ancient and noble within you has begun to rise from its long sleep, a strength that was never lost, only forgotten beneath the weight of doubt and distraction. You begin to sense, with increasing clarity, that your life has been quietly preparing you for this awakening. Every challenge, every disappointment, every unanswered question has been shaping the contours of your character, testing the firmness of your spirit, refining the sharpness of your focus. Nothing was wasted, nothing was accidental. Every moment carried within it a seed of becoming. And now in this season that symbolizes renewal, rebirth, and illumination, you are discovering the profound truth that all lasting change begins in the silence of your own mind. The outer world is merely the echo of the inner one. The results you seek, success, joy, abundance, are reflections of the thoughts you cultivate, the beliefs you uphold, the identity you claim. This is why the story of Christ's birth holds such enduring power. It reminds us that greatness arrives quietly, that the most transformative forces enter the world not through spectacle, but through humility, intention, and unwavering inner truth. It tells us that the conditions of your beginning do not define the magnitude of your purpose. So ask yourself gently, with honesty born of courage, what are you beginning within yourself? What inner Bethlehem awaits your attention? What quiet truth is waiting to be born in the stable of your own spirit? For every life contains a private manger, a place where your deepest calling is formed in silence, long before it is recognized by others. And when you honor that calling, you begin to live with the calm authority of someone guided by purpose, rather than driven by fear. Purpose grants you direction, but it is belief that grants you momentum. And belief, when strengthened through discipline, becomes an unstoppable force. Discipline is not the harsh rigidity the world often mistakes it for. It is the profound act of honoring your future self. It is the choice to live in alignment with the life you are committed to creating. Discipline turns dreams into duties, visions into steps, intentions into actions. It is the quiet promise you make to yourself each morning, to rise with intention, to act with purpose, to live with devotion to the highest within you. And when discipline is joined with persistence, your potential becomes inevitable. Persistence is the refusal to abandon your purpose when results are still invisible. It is the recognition that every winter holds a spring, every night carries a dawn, every closed door hides another path, waiting to be found. Persistence is the spiritual muscle that grows stronger each time you choose to continue. It is what carried the greatest figures of history through the deserts of uncertainty and into the promised lands of their destiny. Persistence is faith in action. But as you walk this path of intention, clarity, discipline, and courage, gratitude must travel beside you. Gratitude softens the heart so it may carry great vision without becoming heavy. Gratitude sharpens the mind so it may see opportunity where others see lack. Gratitude deepens the spirit so it may remain calm in the face of challenge. When you cultivate gratitude, you train your inner world toward abundance. You begin to perceive the gifts embedded in each moment, the lessons within each struggle, the openings within each obstacle. When gratitude becomes the foundation of your thinking, wealth in all its forms flows toward you with greater ease. And yet life, in its infinite wisdom, will ask you to adapt. Adaptability is not surrender. It is mastery. It is the understanding that the path toward your destiny may twist and turn, but the destination remains unchanged. Adaptability is the mind's acknowledgement that rigidity is the first symptom of fear, while flexibility is the first sign of strength. The adaptable spirit can endure setbacks, recalibrate plans, transform challenges into catalysts. Adaptability allows you to remain faithful to your purpose even when circumstances shift beneath your feet. Through these experiences, gratitude, discipline, adaptability, your inner resilience grows. Resilience is the quiet armor forged through endured storms. It is the calm self-assurance of one who has discovered that they can withstand more than they once imagined. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship. It is about transcending it. It is the evidence of your unbreakable nature, the proof that every difficulty was an invitation to rise into your power. With resilience, you become like a winter tree, seemingly still, yet deeply alive, roots reaching further, trunk growing stronger, branches preparing for the blossoms of spring. And slowly, steadily, you find yourself transforming, not into someone unfamiliar, but into the truest version of yourself. Transformation is the unveiling of what has always been within you. It is the gentle removal of doubt, layer by layer. It is the releasing of limits that never belonged to you. It is the emergence of wisdom, joy, clarity, and strength. Transformation is not an event. It is a becoming, and as you become, wealth begins to gather around you, not merely as material abundance, but as inner authority. Wealth becomes the expression of your disciplined mind, your grateful heart, your persistent spirit. Wealth becomes the natural outflow of a consciousness aligned with purpose. You begin to carry yourself differently. You speak with intention. You act with conviction. You live with depth, and life responds. And life responds, not because of chance or favor, but because you have learned to command your inner world with the steady authority of one who finally understands the truth. Success is not bestowed. It is cultivated. Joy is not stumbled upon. It is chosen. Abundance is not granted randomly. It is invited through alignment. And when a person becomes aligned, mind, heart, spirit, intention, the whole universe seems to take notice. Doors that were once sealed begin to loosen. Conversations that once felt empty begin to carry meaning. The world which once felt indifferent begins to reveal possibilities that were previously invisible to you. It is not the world that changed. It is you. It is the radiance of your inner order reflecting itself outward. Feel this shift now. Feel it as a quiet stirring within your chest, as a deepening calm behind your thoughts, as a warmth spreading across the landscape of your awareness. You are stepping into a new consciousness, one shaped not by past wounds, but by present wisdom, one defined not by what you have endured, but by what you are becoming. This is the essence of Christmas wisdom, an ancient reminder that every soul is capable of awakening, of rising, of embodying a purpose higher than its fears. For even Christ, whose life became a symbol across centuries, did not walk a path free of trial. His journey was shaped by resilience, by devotion, by unwavering clarity of purpose. His story reminds us that true greatness is not measured by ease, but by the courage to stand firm in one's calling, even when the world misunderstands it. And within this, there is a profound lesson for anyone seeking success, joy, and inner mastery. The world does not always applaud the early stages of transformation. Often, it resists them. But the wise do not seek applause. They seek alignment. And something remarkable happens when you seek alignment over validation. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions become steadier. Your actions become more intentional. You begin to live with a rhythm that is unshaken by external noise. This rhythm is the heartbeat of success. It is the sound of a mind that has learned to focus, a soul that has learned to trust, a spirit that has learned to stand tall, even when the world grows cold. This season, as you look upon the glow of Christmas lights, let them remind you of your own inner illumination. Light is not the absence of darkness. It is the refusal to be overcome by it. And within you there is a brilliance that no challenge, no winter, no setback can ever fully extinguish. Your task is to nurture that light, to protect it, to strengthen it through belief, discipline, gratitude, and courage. When your inner light grows, your outer life follows. Think of your thoughts now as artisans, shaping the architecture of your destiny. Every thought you hold with conviction becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. Thoughts of doubt create cracks. Thoughts of fear weaken walls. But thoughts of clarity, strength, and purpose build a structure capable of withstanding any storm. This is why mindset matters more than circumstance. Because no matter where you begin, the thoughts you consistently choose will determine where you arrive. And as you arrive, slowly, steadily, purposefully, you begin to experience a form of joy that is deeper than momentary pleasure. It is the joy of congruence, the joy of knowing that your life is aligned with your spirit. This joy does not depend on gifts or celebrations or temporary comforts. It arises from within, like a well that never runs dry. It is the joy of becoming who you were meant to be. Success, too, begins to take on a richer meaning. It is no longer merely the attainment of goals, but the expression of inner excellence. Success becomes a mirror, reflecting your discipline, your resilience, your devotion to your vision. And because this success is built upon inner mastery, it cannot be taken from you. It cannot be shaken by circumstance or diminished by comparison. It is rooted in the unchanging landscape of your own character. This is where true wealth reveals itself, not in the surplus of possessions, but in the depth of self-awareness, not in the applause of others, but in the quiet certainty that you are living your life on purpose. Wealth becomes the natural overflow of a mind that has mastered itself and a spirit that has embraced its calling. Wealth becomes the result, not the goal. So feel this rising within you, the merging of clarity and purpose, discipline and gratitude, resilience and vision. Feel the strength that comes from recognizing your own inner authority. Feel the peace that settles upon you when you understand that your life is not defined by what you lack, but by what you cultivate. In this season, you are cultivating wisdom. You are cultivating power. You are cultivating joy. You are cultivating the mindset that leads to success, not only in the coming days, but in the years that await you. And now breathe softly. Feel that inner warmth deepen. You are preparing to step into the fullest expression of your life. You are preparing to rise beyond the boundaries of your old identity. You are preparing to walk into a future shaped by intention, courage, and devotion to what is highest within you. And as you breathe, allow yourself to feel the immensity of what is unfolding within you. A recognition that every winter you endured, every lonely night you wrestled with doubt, every moment you felt small or unseen, was preparing you for this emergence. There is a majesty in the quiet, a grandeur in the ordinary, a power that resides not in spectacle, but in steady growth. This is the truth that Christmas wisdom offers, not the fleeting joy of gifts or gatherings, gatherings, but the eternal lesson that transformation begins in stillness, that greatness is born in the invisible hours of preparation, that success and joy are cultivated within before they ever manifest without. And now, as this awareness anchors in your heart, you feel the rise of purpose, like a tide gently lifting the vessel of your life. Purpose is not fleeting. It is a compass, unwavering, pointing you toward the highest potential of your own existence. It whispers when the world shouts. It sustains when fatigue and uncertainty press upon you. It is the fire that cannot be extinguished, the light that cannot be dimmed, the quiet insistence that your life matters, that your contribution is necessary, that your vision has been waiting for your courage to claim it. And so, with clarity illuminating your path, you begin to see the contours of possibility in a way that had eluded you before. You perceive doors where others see walls. You see lessons in challenges, opportunities in setbacks, and pathways where others see impasses. Vision, nurtured by discipline and anchored in belief, transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Vision allows you to perceive not only what is, but what can be. It aligns thought, emotion, and action into a force that moves mountains, not as a fanciful dream, but as inevitable reality, shaped by a mind that refuses to be shaken. Discipline then steps forward, not as a burden, but as the quiet architect of your becoming. It is the muscle that grows through repetition, the steady hand that shapes habit, the bridge connecting intention to achievement. Discipline allows persistence to flourish, persistence that does not waver in the face of delay, disappointment, or resistance. It is persistence that teaches the soul patience and resilience, that hones your capacity to endure, that reinforces the knowledge that each effort compounds toward transformation, even when progress feels imperceptible. Gratitude walks beside you, an invisible companion strengthening your heart. Gratitude opens perception, widening the lens through which you see your life. It converts the mundane into sacred moments, revealing hidden abundance in places previously overlooked. Gratitude reframes struggle into education, scarcity into possibility, hardship into preparation. It cultivates a mind that notices, a heart that appreciates, a spirit that radiates. And as this radiance extends outward, the external world responds in kind, bringing into your life opportunities and resources aligned with your highest purpose. And yet life will call for adaptability, a flexibility born not of compromise, but of strength. Adaptability is the recognition that the world is in constant flux, that circumstance changes with seasons and fortunes shift like the wind. To remain rigid is to invite frustration. To remain adaptable is to invite mastery. When you embrace change, you no longer resist life's natural currents, but ride them with intention, turning potential disruption into opportunity, converting challenges into catalysts for growth. Adaptability ensures your momentum never ceases, your vision never dims, your purpose never falters. Resilience grows from this confluence of belief, discipline, persistence, gratitude, and adaptability. It is the unspoken proof of your enduring spirit, the evidence that no storm can unseat the life you are committed to creating. Resilience teaches that setbacks are not failures, but steps, necessary calibrations in the intricate design of your becoming. It grants you the capacity to recover swiftly, to learn efficiently, and to continue with courage when others might surrender. Through resilience, you cultivate the inner sanctuary from which your greatest achievements are born. Transformation, then, is no longer a distant concept, but a living reality. You are not waiting for some external event to change you. You are changing from within. You are shedding limitations, discarding doubt, and stepping into the version of yourself who has always existed beneath the surface, waiting for the quiet courage to awaken. Each choice, each thought, each action becomes an instrument of your becoming, a brushstroke in the grand canvas of your life. You are the artist of your destiny, and the masterpiece is already emerging. And as inner mastery solidifies, the world begins to reflect your newfound authority. Wealth, success, and fulfillment flow not as external prizes, but as natural byproducts of the life you now command. Real wealth is not a measure of accumulation, but a manifestation of inner alignment. Real success is not the applause of others, but the quiet certainty that you are living with intention. Joy is not a fleeting sensation, but a constant undercurrent that rises from the integrity of your inner world. And as this wisdom takes root, your existence itself becomes a testament to the power of clarity, disciplined belief, and relentless courage.